Welcome back by Deck for Cheap, where we are building a competitive deck for cheap. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an expensive card game, but what if we can change that? In this series, I will build a cheap deck and I will look about how it does and make changes in a specific budget to make the deck better and as good as possible. We will make this deck better, faster and stronger as the series goes on. Instead of playing the deck online, I will buy all the cards by myself and play them in discords of different Yu-Gi tubers and see how the deck can hold on. I welcome you into my journey to make your lives cheaper. Let's duel! We are playing in this deck 3 Numeron Network. This is our most valuable card and we have to play 3 of course, because we need to find it. We have 2 Numeron Calling, we have 3 Pathfinders, we have 3 Numeron Wall, we have 1 Terraforming for the search, set rotation, and 1 Metaverse also for the search. With this deck we are playing 1 Zombie World for, well, our set rotation, and it can be a good card. For board destruction we are playing 3 Dark Holes, 2 Offerings of the Dooms to destroy one of their or our monsters if we need to, and 3 Kaiju Slumbers to, of course, destroy the boards if we need to, because Raigeki is too expensive for us right now. We play 2 Kaijus each, 2 Thunder Kaijus, the 2 Fiend Dark Kaijus, and the 2 Machine Kaijus. Those were the cheapest, like I showed you in the last episode. We play for our traps 3 D-Barriers because it is a strong card and it can lock out decks. We also play 3 Warning Points because the opponent cannot use that monster for anything. And after this trap we have 1 Mind Control, we have 3 MSTs for the back row destruction because that's needed hard. We have, for our last deck card, Limiter Removal. And this is our main deck, so let's go to the extra deck. In our extra deck we have 2 of each, the 2 Numeron 1, the 2 Numeron 2, and you guessed it, the 2 Numeron 3, number 3, and 2 of the number 4, how could you guess it? And to get it off, we have also 1 of the C1 Numeron to banish the entire board. So this is our extra deck for the moment. We will get more extra decks as this series goes on. And in our side deck we have 1 Pancratops and 3 Deck Lockdown, because those are cheap cards and hopefully we can use them, and so not, then we will just change them out.
Let's have a go at it!
So in the first round I win the dice roll and I go second because our deck really wants to go second. Our opponent starts in the standby phase with E-Teleport. That's of course a strong card, and he specials out ZMA. So we know that he plays a Punk deck, but where I'm not really familiar with. And since I do not play any hand traps and he can make whatever he wants with the cards in his hand, it's just not that great for me. So after a few cards he ends up on this board. 1 Crystron Hulk Fibrax, which can send itself to the graveyard and summon a Tuner Synchro from the extra deck. And the card that I am scared of is Psych and Punisher. This card says that it is unaffected by my activated effects. So that is actually the only scary card he has at the moment. So what I am going to do, I am going to Kaiju his own Psychic and Punisher away. And that hurts the deck a lot. I opted to use the Kaiju Slumber so that when he uses Hulk Fibrax, his effect, the card would still be destroyed. I also use Interrupt Kaiju Slumber because I do not have the field spell in hand right now, so I still have something to destroy his board with. I give him a 28 Kaiju attack Kaiju, and I give myself the 3000 attack Kaiju just to have some board control, because I do not control the field spell in my hand. I will go to battle, I attack over my own Kaiju and deal a 500 damage to his life points. In my second main phase, I play the field spell Zombie World. Normally I do not like to see this card in my hand, but because he is playing the Sanctuary of the Sky, I know he has to play fairy monsters. And what Zombie World makes, all his monsters zombie. So his fairy monsters becomes zombie, so he cannot play. I also set 2 cards and passes my turn. On his summon, I use my warning point, so his effects are negated and he cannot use it for any link or synchro or fusion effects or anything. So what he does is, well, he passes, and not only that, he just concedes the game because of the Zombie World, he cannot play actually any cards, and I will just keep attacking over him. And because he's playing agents, he needs to his cards to be fairy, is what he said to me, so I believe him. So let's go to game 2. So for game 2, I sided in Pankratops because it's a strong card for mind control, because I cannot really use mind control right now. He lets me go second, thank you very much. And our opponent tries to build a board again and ends up with a much stronger board right now. He ends up with a IP Masquerena, a Crystron Hulk Fibrax, and a Master Flare Hypernoid. So we already know what Hulk Fibrax does, so let's talk about IP Masquerena first. She's a crazy card. So he can link summon in my main phase using his monsters. That link summoned card cannot be destroyed by card effects, so if I need that card, I am really out of destruction cards like my Dark Holes. So I need to kaiju that if I have the card. So his last monster is Master Flare. This card is not so bad for me. If I can destroy this card before having a card on my field, he can banish a card for me. So I just need to destroy it, then it doesn't have any effects. So my opponent gets a call, so I can think about my turn. So in my hand I have a Kaiju Pankratops and a Kaiju Slumber again. So breaking his board is something I can do as long as I can Kaiju his IP Masquerena. He comes back after a call and I immediately decides to Kaiju his IP Masquerena. After I Kaiju his IP, he calls it quits, because he has to go, he says. So I call this a win for me, baby. So let's go to game 2. So in game 2 I once again win the dice roll and I will go second. Our opponent is playing Tri-Brigade, yet we do not know it for now. But he breaks on turn 1 and the only thing he does is set 2 and passes. Me not knowing what he is playing yet, so I think he is maybe playing Eldritch. If it's Eldritch, I definitely lose unless I can OTK him right now. I will start off with using Neural Network. I activate his effect and he ashes me. So here is a dilemma. We both misplaced here because he ashes. And he cannot ash my Neural Network because sending the card is the cost. The Ash Blossom says that it negates the sending, but because sending is cost, Ash cannot be activated. So how does it work? If we take a look at the Neural Network and how it is worded like this. During your main phase, send 1 Neuron spell card that meets the activation conditions from your deck to the graveyard, semicolon. This means that this is a cost to activate the effect. So when he ashes my network, he actually made an illegal play, but we both didn't know. So I also, at this time, did not know it was cost. So I did not even send the card itself, because Ash, of course, doesn't make you send it. But we all learn. Our opponent set 1 card and passes again, so he bricked really hard. So in my turn, I activate the effect of Neural Network again, and you can guess what? He ashes me again. So that's not a good feeling, but this what it is. Our opponent summons a Tri-Brigade kit in his main phase, and I will negate this effect with Warning Point. He will not be able to use the effect of Kit, and he cannot send Kit for any link summon, so that's a very strong card. He wants to attack, but he realized because of Warning Point he cannot attack, and also I forgot that effect of Warning Point. So keep in mind, people, read the cards. He passes on me for a third time, and I will try to kill him this turn. I use my Field Spell to summon 4 Numeron cards for my extra deck, and I will attack with Numeron Wall. While a Numeron monster attacks a monster, they will double the attack of all monsters they control after the attack. So now all my cards have 2000, but cannot be buffed, but I will attack with my other Numeron, and since he will not use any effects, I activate in the battle step one of my cards called Limiter Removal and buffs all my monsters to 4000 and win the game this way. In round 2, I side in all my side deck cards, so my 3 deck lockdowns, because Tri-Brigade adds cards to your hand from deck, or sends to grave, which deck lockdown stops. And Pancratops is just a very strong card. So the cards I swap out is Dimensional Barrier, because they use link summonings, and the barrier cannot stop link summonings. And I will side in Pancratops for Mind Control again, because I don't think I'm gonna use Mind Control just yet. He's going first. He's playing tanky and adds a fractal to hand. He uses the effect to send it to the graveyard. He sends Kit to graveyard with fractal effect, and Kit will send Nerval, and Nerval will add another fractal to his hand. He normal summons the fractal he added to hand and uses its effect to send 3 cards, and he will summon Doom Eagle. He will pass his turn, and he has only a Doom Eagle that I have to worry about. He also has 1 back row, but I have MST for that. Doom Eagle says that it gains 2400 attack when I, as a person, so the opponent, doesn't have any cards in his graveyard. So it is an 4800 attack. So for me it is hard to destroy because I do not have a kaiju in my hand. But let's try it anyways. I started with MSTing the back row. I activate the Terraforming to search my Fuse spell, and I play Network. And here is my big brain play. So I know that he doesn't have Ash, because he probably would have used it on my adding the Fuse spell. But I do not even have to be worried about Ash if he kept it in his hand, because I have Numeron Calling in my hand. This way he cannot Ash it. I summon the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and now I will play a little bit different. I attack with a Numeron that is not the one, because I want to keep him alive as long as possible for my CXZ monster. I take 900 damage because I attack into the fractal, and the monster cannot be destroyed by battle, and I uses the effect of the Field Spell, and I chain the monster effect to double the attack of my monsters. This way he cannot destroy my Field Spell with Ogre. Now I'm going to attack into his Link monster. I will take 2800 damage instead of dealing 100 damage to him, but this way I can play that I can kill him next turn with the effect of my Numeron C and its effect damage. Now I will attack into his fractal for 2100 damage. But on activation of my monster effect to make it an 8000 attack, he misplays and he uses Ogre on my monster. He destroys my Numeron monster, but since I have a monster in the graveyard, his monster is now 2400 and I can attack over his own monster for game. Our opponent could also have used the effect of Doom Eagle to send my monster back, so he would not have died. But since I did not know how his card worked, I could not help him, so of course I want to learn and I want to be better. So we are now 2-0 with a €4.29 Numeron deck. And we are off to a third and last game, so let's get into it.
If you know what's good for you, you will run.
Since I do not want to drag this video out, I will sum up the last match. Our last match is against a water deck, and I love this deck. I wish I could have done more this game. I lose the die roll, but I will go second, luckily for me. Our opponent plays Sea Stealth deck number 2, summons a Doomkraken and end his turn on this board. If I had a good hand, I could have OTK'd him, but I do not have. I do have OTK in hand, so let's try to kill him. I play Dark Hole, killing his board. He can summon a card in my battle phase with the C stealth he has on his face, but I do not have MST as of now. So for as far as I know, he will have one card. I play our field spell and summon our monsters and go to battle phase. In the battle phase, he summons Ocean Dragon Lord Kairu Shin. This card says you can only control one non-water monster on the field. That is very bad for me. So I need to send all my Numerons except for one to the graveyard. I keep Numeron 1 because I think I can summon my C1 on top of it. But oh, am I wrong. I go to my second main phase. I want to play Numeron C, but we both see the problem because I only can control one non-water monster, and when you want to summon a monster, you are unable to because you already have one, or well, I have already one non-water monster. So I will set one warning point and pass his turn, but he summons too many water monsters for me to kill, so we are on to game 2. Game 2 is even worse for me. I do not see any dark holes, no kaijus or slumbers, so he just summons Ocean Dragon and that's it. I cannot play through it, so I just scooped that game sadly. But I really want to go against this deck some more time. So those are our first 3 games with the deck under $5. And we are 2-1 with a lot of misplays. But we will go and make our deck better with some interesting cards. As first, I want to say I love the deck, but it can be a bit better because we are missing some cards in the extra deck. But first, I want to buy 2 more limited removals because so I can destroy boards with my kaijus, kaiju slumbers or dark holes. And with limited removal in hand and Numeron Network, it's a faster OTK and I do not have to wait any longer. I also want to buy Nightbeam for decks that have back row heavy decks and rely on their card's activation, because Nightbeam says that you can target one set card on the field and destroy it. Well, it's one set spell and trap and they cannot activate it. If I place Flu on the Reese matchup, I really want to have an extra out to the Windberry statue because that kills me like very bad. And because I cannot special summon monsters that are not wind, Gdarla Kaiju can be very strong against that one. It's only 5 cents a piece, so I think we can have that card in our deck. The next card I want to buy more of is Zombie World. As I have seen my first game, drawing this card in a specific game can be very strong, so maybe we can have that card also in the side deck. I am thinking about buying Tremendous Fire and or Poisonous of the Old Men because of the fact that I have seen people playing Dinomorphia, and because Dinomorphia is a deck that has like 500 life points, Tremendous Fire and or Poisonous of the Old Men can really do that, so maybe one card of it is very strong and pretty funny. Since I have 5 more space in the extra deck, I have seen some cards for it, and those are Surayu and Megaclops. These 2 cards can do actually great things. Surayu can be used as a turn 1 draw 4 and make your turn 1 hand better. Megaclops is just a strong card and he cannot be destroyed by monster effects and not by battle, a force to be reckoned with. And last but not least, my tech card that I really want to buy and really want to play is Catapult Turtle. This card can be actually pretty funny. Keep in mind that you can only summon 1 more time after using Numeron Calling, so when you attack and you cannot kill him, you can tribute summon 1 Numeron card for your Catapult Turtle. And because they have 8,000 damage, no, they have more, they have 16,000 damage, because maybe you have to attack all monsters for instance, you can tribute 1 and do an 8,000 damage to your opponent, which is a pretty cool deck card. So after a long time the video is over and I want to say thank you all for watching and I hope you liked it. And you guys see me in the next video. Goodbye.